Give me a drug, give me a surgery, give me a technique to not have to fight hunger, not have to be in the presence of hunger ever. I don't want to ever feel hungry. I don't want to ever desire food and have to say no. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I lost 30 kilos 20 years ago. And in 10 seconds, I'm going to give you some hypnotic ideas to help you do the same, to lose weight and keep it off for good. Consciously, you already know what not to eat and to move more. The problem is that subconsciously you resist doing it. When you take care of the inner game, the outer game takes care of itself. But the key problem with keeping your weight down is managing hunger, is being in the presence of hunger and desire and craving for food, and then having to fight that and resist it. That is the key thing. If food had no taste and had no stimulation whatsoever, it was just like chewing air. Like it was purely just nutritional and had no emotion or excitement or pleasure associated with it at all. It would be absolutely easy to just have less of it. So it's the stimulation and the pleasure that we are fighting, the desire for the pleasure. Who doesn't want to feel good? You want to feel pleasure, of course. So we want more and more of that all the time. If the drugs make it easy to do that or easier, then people lose weight. The problem is, though, that prior to having the drugs or the surgeries, you eat as much as you want, you eat till you're full, you eat till you're satisfied, right? And then after you have it, the surgery or you take the drugs, you continue to just have as much as you want. But the calories are less because, you feel sick if you have too many. But then your stomach stretches with the surgery, and then you can have more calories, so then you start putting the weight back on. So it's just like before, during, after the processes, you're still having as much as you want. And say with the drugs, if people during it only stop eating because they feel sick, where is that point in terms of calories? You might only feel sick when you've still had too many calories. That's why people don't lose the weight, because it's still about the calories. It's not about the drug. So then they have to up the dose, so then they feel sick earlier. But then people don't typically want to be on high doses of a drug forever. And that's the problem. The reason why people put the weight back on after stopping the drug is because the hunger was never dealt with. The craving for food, the internal management of your emotions, that has to be addressed. Otherwise, you can't do it, I guess, right? So the fundamental thing that people are doing is trying to get away from that. Is like, give me a drug, give me a surgery, give me a technique to not have to fight hunger, not have to be in the presence of hunger ever. I don't want to ever feel hungry. I don't want to ever desire food and have to say no. So if we connect the whole self-belief thing to that, I guess, is that, it's like, do you believe that you have the capacity to say no when you want food, soda or chips or chocolates or whatever it is? When you want something, can you say no? Like, or do you have to gratify it? Then this goes into something a little bit deeper and more complicated, though, is this the idea of your relationship with food. Like, there's a difference between being hungry and wanting to eat. And I think that's such a crucial thing, is that when is it physical and when is it emotional? If you're just wanting to eat, you're wanting the experience and the emotion and the pleasure of eating, then there's probably something else going on. There's probably some frustrated with you in the moment, or some negative emotion that you're wanting to get away from, a difficult circumstance. So you're struggling with something at work and you just want to get away from it, and then you just eat to distract yourself. It's always, and it seems like it's a good excuse. I'm hungry. I do eat. Just a plausible reason to stop doing what I'm doing, and I have to eat. You got to eat, right? So it's always a good excuse. But if you just check in with your body and make sure, look, do I need this or do I just want this? Am I actually, does my body needing or wanting food, or is it my mind and my emotions wanting food? And I think once you learn to distinguish those two, then you can be a little bit cynical of the mind wanting to eat. You shouldn't be denying yourself when it's physical hunger, when your body truly needs to eat. But when you learn to see the difference, then it's easier to just let go of that desire to eat for the sake of an emotional experience. And I think that really is the key, is that you let go of the chronic addictive eating pattern, because it's not helpful, it's not healthy, it's not helping me live longer and feel better. It's not helping that. And then you can let go of it, right? But instead of fighting it, fighting hunger. Fighting hunger is a losing battle. You will lose. But letting go of just a destructive, addictive, emotional pattern, that is, you can be okay with that. So subscribe, liked if you liked it, and if you're wondering why your willpower keeps fading, so subscribe, liked if you liked it, and then subscribe, like if you liked it, and if you're wondering why your willpower keeps failing, click here.
Oh man, that was tough. That was crazy.